Labour policies would impact the food and drink industry. So we've got the first one, crime and policing bill to address retail crime. So there's been a lot of retail crime in the last 6, 9, 12 months. And recent figures have shown the seriousness of the rise in shoplifting as they hit a record of 1,200 offences a day. The government measures include a clampdown on shoplifting, so it's reversing the previous £200 threshold. For theft, the creation of new offences for assaulting shop workers and the introduction of respect orders to address antisocial behaviour. The industry body has also highlighted the need for increased police presence on high streets and in neighbourhoods. So is that free policing for supermarkets? Let's hope not. It's going to make the abuse of retail staff a standalone offence. This is a crucial step in safeguarding our hard-working retailers and their team. So let's hope it works. And they're also committing to HFSS, which is high in fat, sugar and salt. So they're going to restrict the advertising of junk food to children, as well as introducing plans to restrict the sale of high caffeine energy drinks to children. That probably will make it quite harder to acquire those from vending machines, because at the moment they're not restricted enough unless you have sort of using a credit card, but a lot of direct debit cards can act a bit like credit cards, very difficult to identify the fact. So you'd probably have the restriction from 15 and above, unless you do human-to-human sales. Under the previous government, a ban on advertising HFSS food online and on TV before 9 p.m. was set to come into force in January 2025. So this is really an implementation of the previous government's idea. Hopefully it isn't sort of too onerous on current people who might be removed from selling products which just teeter over the line. I think there has to be sufficient consultation so they have a chance to make changes to their product, as well as just because things like fish and chips will probably be sort of high in those particular products, then that doesn't necessary, because it's all about portion sizes, the number of times that individuals buy this product in a month. So the Labour government have established a comprehensive children's health and food strategy to tackle food-related ill health. This should include banning buy one, get one free, which will be promotions of unhealthy foods. Interesting to see the definition, and expanding on the huge success of the soft drinks industry levy to encourage healthier recipes across a wider range of food and drinks. Let's hope it just doesn't replace sugars with natural fruit sugars. Who knows? And then we've got an employment rights bill causes worry for small businesses. Now, the government also introduced its employment rights bill in the King's Speech, which would enhance employment rights, and then exploitative practices such as zero-hour contracts and fire and rehire. It would also establish the Fair Work Agency and single enforcement body for workplace rights. Now, a lot of contracts, have to be set up so that they have sort of a firing, on both sides, maybe a week notice, so that relevant current employment bills can be obtained and the people can work under those sort of contracts without having other legislation applied upon them. As part of its plan to make work pay, Labour manifesto also includes plans to remove the discriminatory age bands. It is a good thing to ensure every adult worker benefits from increases to the minimum wage, while the minimum wage for those 21 and older is £11.44. 18 to 20-year-olds are currently only entitled to £8.60. It's good in principle, but this has to be transferred to the shopper. And when this was implemented in the United States of America, it ended up where there were less people working rather than the previous number of employees before the scheme was implemented. So there were sackings, and the people that stayed actually carried out more work because, this is specifically in the takeaway area, because the employers put it straight on the bill, mainly under things like a special charge and including it in the food. But a lot of, there was decline in takeaways, and people went elsewhere, or they actually came into the store. So on the one hand, it's doing the right thing, but it's got to be implemented correctly. And rather than passing the full cost initially to the buyers, it probably has to be absorbed somewhat by the company or the people running the business. However, some in the industry have voiced concern over the cost of implementation. It's what I actually described. Small businesses are increasingly worried about the development employment rights package. So it's an issue because it's how you implement it. Effectively, all the other costs are there, so you can't absorb it through savings. You have to pass it on to the client, or the company has to absorb it, or the people running the operation. So it's something hard to call. Positive policies for farmers. Now, I think a lot of farmers haven't been included in a lot of discussions. There's a lot of farmers who have reached retirement, and the actual farm hasn't passed on to the family to carry on farming. So there's been an issue. Effectively, it's got so bad that on the 22nd of July, an open letter by the Soil Association had called on the new Prime Minister to back and scale up the UK's horticultural sector. Almost half, we should have at least sort of 90% of our veg and over 80% of our fruit you know, we've got to have a different stance where we grow more and sell it abroad so that we're self-sustainable. And if we can't get the fruit, then we can have got other fruit to eat. 80% of our fruit is imported. This cannot go on, they wrote. We urgently need more, not less, homegrown fruit and veg, or we face further disaster for supermarket shelves, our health, and the environment. Now, there needs to be some sort of incentives to actually do this on UK soil, but also the harder to grow should be grown either in containers, the element of vertical farming, with the relevant nutrients and temperature settings on tap, so that we can grow or try to grow fairly exotic products. So we reduce the air miles, we reduce the imported products, and we have the internal sustainability and food security, particularly with vegetables and fruit, because more of the populace, because of cost and healthy living, are moving towards vegetables and fruit. So I hope you like that podcast. I'm looking for a sponsor on this or other podcast and videos that I do. Also, I have the end-to-end production equipment and software and knowledge to actually cut and process and edit video. I mean, I like doing these straight to camera because it is quite effective and it feels like you're talking directly to the individual. For other things, I try to cut things together. So it's a variety of ways of trying to get the attention of your viewers and listeners. And I mean, I have the setup so that I can communicate with audio as well as video podcast listeners, as well as people that just like watching the videos. So please like, subscribe, comment and share, because I want to get as many people listening to these type of videos. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.